we were born to be together in this
Hmm.
interview and for what we're talking about.
I've always loved bass my whole life. Since I was about 9 or 10 years old, I heard this song called Why Do Fools Fall in Love by Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, and it was an upright bass. And I remember sitting on the couch at my cousin's house. They were teenagers, and they used to buy all these records. And this is like a 78 record. I mean, this is like 58, 57, 1957. So I'm sitting there, and I'm hearing this, doom, 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 doom. And all I heard was that. And I'm going, wow, that is so cool. And from that day on, it was like everything I listened to, I always honed in on the bass. And gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
It gave me goosebumps. It made me excited. There was something about this sound that made me happy. It made me feel something. I didn't play. I didn't know anybody that had an instrument. There was no MTV or hardly any radio. The only thing we saw was Ed Sullivan on TV. So you really didn't know anybody was really playing bass
Right.
anyway. You were looking at Elvis and the Dancing Bears. So, I didn't know that I could actually get a bass and play one. But I remember I used to have a broom and I used to run around the house and play like I was playing bass. When I was 23, this guy said to me, "Why don't you buy a bass?" Because I used to always talk about bass all the time. I drove people crazy. I just loved bass. And I always wanted one. And I was like 22, 23 years old, and I'm still talking because I didn't have a job. I grew up in the ghetto. We didn't have nothing. We're just hippies, no, broke. And and I said, man, I really, really want to play bass, man. I wish I could play bass. And this guy says to me, why don't you buy one? And I thought to myself, oh, yeah. It didn't even dawn on me that you could go to a store and buy one. I mean, that's sometimes I say that's what ghetto mentality does is when you grow up in the ghetto and you don't have anything and you're kind of under that impression that you'll never get anywhere. You don't think that all you got to do is get up and get off your feet and go do it. And I think I had that mentality. So to make a longer story short, one of my best friends came over my house with a bass, a real cheap bass, cost him about $100, and he says, "Dude, I'm giving this to my girlfriend for Christmas. You got 3 months. Play this and have fun with it." And he left it there, and I started playing it, and I wouldn't give it back to him. He never did get it back. Yeah, he never got it back. He even said he saw that every time he would come and get it, that look in my eyes, he said he couldn't take it.